What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P. We are back once again in front of your TV, and one thing is for certain, and three things are for sure. When you see me in front of your TV, in front of your laptop, your mobile phone, and whatever other devices you are watching me on, and shout out to you and appreciate you for watching me on any and all of those things. But it said that Motor City Cats are back at it. We came to give you stats and not static. Whatever you do, we want to make sure that you keep your Lions news pragmatic. That's the one, the two, and the three. And you might be asking yourself, well, how is it? How is it that you keep your Lions news pragmatic? Well, I'll tell you, it's very simple because we made it that way by design. We didn't want to make it difficult. Basically, you got to make sure you smash that like button. You got to make sure you subscribe to the Motor City Cats. You got to make sure that you share and let everybody know what's going on around here, telling everyone we are keeping your Lions news pragmatic, and that is it. Those are the steps. Shout out to the LNU fam. Shout out to everyone in the chat that is from Motor City Cats. Shout out to everyone in the chat that is from LNU. We are live on both channels right now, and we are going to get down to business. What up, though, Mr. Morale 313? What up, though, Lisa? What up, though? Who's that? Stain Vision? And what up, though, Just a Fan? And any and everyone else that will be coming through at the time or later on or whatever the case may be, today. So we're going to get down to business. We don't have a lot of Lions news to talk about because it is that little lull right there between the mandatory mini camp, which got canceled, and so we got the OTAs, and then we got training camp, right? Training camp starts for us a little bit earlier this season. Why? Because we do have the Hall of Fame game coming up next month, but got that little low. So we got to figure out things to talk about. We got to be Michael Jordan, right? We got to put chips on our shoulders and take it personally. What up, though? Hassanin. Ahmed Hassanin's father is in the building today. So Hassanin Mahdi is Ahmed Hassanin's father. If you guys would like to get any questions, if he would be so gracious as to answer them, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we will make a little segment for that. All right. So as I said, we got some things to talk about. Is Ennis the Menace I should say Detroit Lions fans kind of overlooking this guy? Personally, for me, I am not overlooking Ennis the Menace. What I would like to see from Ennis the Menace this season is to get on the field, stay on the field, be healthy. That's what I would like to see from Ennis this season. I know he had a lot of potential. And I've gone on record many times as saying when they were mocking Ennis as our first round draft pick before we drafted Terrion Arnold, I wasn't a fan. And the reason I wasn't a fan, like just a fan, okay? The reason I wasn't a fan is because he had a history of soft tissue injuries, okay? Now, y'all know me. I don't just be saying stuff just to speak, okay? I don't say stuff just to hear myself speak. I say things that are based in fact, reality, understanding, and experience. And we know whether we want to admit it or not, we know that soft tissue injuries are the ones that continue to crop up. Soft tissue injuries are the ones that plague careers. Okay? Soft tissue injuries are the ones that they're nagging. Okay? They're nagging. So here is the question. Are Ennis Rakestraw's soft tissue injuries behind him, or not completely behind him? Are they behind him enough where you'll see him miss a game or two per year? Because if we get to the point where he's missing let's say 4 to 6 games per year, then it's a problem. Okay. Right now, in this current situation, the way our secondary is set up, I think it would be less of a problem because we got DJ Reed on the outside, we got Terrion Arnold on the outside, we got Amik Robertson in the slot. So if we are saying, well, Ennis Rakestraw is going to be in the slot, then he's going to rotate with Amik. Okay. Going to keep him fresher. If we're going to say that Ennis Rakestraw is going to be on the outside, then that's where we're talking about the sleeping on conversation. And why are we talking about the sleeping on conversation? Because who is he going to supplant? DJ Reed is on a 3-year deal, correct? Okay. So that means that he's supposed to be here for 3 years and he's supposed to be the number one corner. Now, I don't know if he's going to be the number one corner for all 3 years. He could be the number one corner for this year. And then the next 2 years, Terrion Arnold has taken such a leap that DJ Reed is the number 2 corner, which is fine. Okay. It could take a year and a half. It could take 2 years for Terrion Arnold to take that leap. He may not be the number one corner until the last year of DJ Reed's deal. He may not be the number one corner until DJ Reed leaves. And that doesn't mean that Terrion Arnold is going to be trash because it takes him 4 years to become the number one corner. That means that you just have a damn good number one corner over there. And as a young player, he's going to ascend, right? So that's the question with me and Ennis. Let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. Because I had to go to another window. All right. TaylorMade Media. He says, you mean the same young cat who was on Jameson Williams' heels a couple of weeks ago? Don't do that, TaylorMade. Don't do that, TaylorMade. Do you mean on his heels, really? Because that wasn't happening. And if you mean on his heels as in behind him, we can't really fault anyone. So J-Mo is one of those people where the only way that you can win, or J-Mo is one of those people where he's an outlier. You can't fault anyone. You can't fault anyone for getting beat by J-Mo. You can't. It's just not possible for you to find a reason. The only cornerback in this league currently who is good enough to be playing that can keep up with Jameson Williams is Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins was a 4.28, 4.26, something like that. Okay. So if J-Mo were to get behind him, Nate Wiggins, is fast enough. And he's also, I think, taller than J-Mo, right? J-Mo is what, 6 foot or 6'1"? Nate Wiggins is 6'2". So he's got longer strides. He'd be able to catch up and keep up with him. So that's the only cornerback in this league. In the NFL, there's 32 teams. All the 32 teams have at least 2 cornerbacks. Okay? So let's say out of 64 qualifying cornerbacks, or let's just say 62 because we have to take out the 2 that are on the Detroit Lions roster. Out of 62 qualifying cornerbacks, Nate Wiggins is the only one that you could find in this league that you could say he legitimately could keep up with J-Mo. Like, keep up with him. That's crazy, right? But if you're saying that he had decent coverage on J-Mo, I would say he did have decent coverage. What could be expected? Lisa says, I have seen nothing from Ennis. I do not want the Lions to draft. I did not want the Lions to draft him and believe he will be a bust. Ooh, strong words from Lisa DiLorenzo. I'm gonna tell you a secret. I didn't want the Lions to draft him either. But the reason that I didn't want the Lions to draft him was not because I don't think he's a good corner. It's because, again, the soft tissue injuries. He had a history of soft tissue injuries at Missouri, and he also missed the entire pre-draft process because he had to get surgery, core muscle surgery. So this is a reason why I was like, because we know Brad Holmes and his track record, right? Dan is saying he will be on the outside, and we wasted a second round pick on him. Right. That's why I was saying if you are saying he's going to be on the outside, who does he supplant? Okay. Where is he getting playing time? What kind of packages is Shep going to put out there to get him on the field along with Terrion, DJ Reed? Like, you can't really have two outside corners unless you're going to play gunner coverage. So you're going to put him and Terrion on Justin Jefferson, something like that. And then you got DJ Reed on the other side, locking down Jordan Addison. I don't think that's going to happen. So this may be a rotation situation. They're going to try to find ways to get him on the field. They like him. They're high on him. I think he has the skills. I think he has the ability, but he didn't do himself any favors last season. And you can't really say he didn't do himself any favors because the reason that he wasn't playing is because of injury. Now, unfortunately, where I could see him playing is we do have a rather extensive injury history ourselves on the entire roster, which is unfortunate. And I hope it changes very quickly and in short order this year. But if he is quality depth, Lisa, would you say that we wasted a second round pick on quality depth? That's my question. It is Don. I'll explain my name. I'm a man of many names. So I will explain my names at some point. Taylorman says he was on his heels, as in one is only a step and a half behind. But also Doc did say that J-Mo was running about 85% speed. And let's be honest, and I said it, Goff has got to get that thing out of there sooner. If he gets that thing out of there sooner, J-Mo doesn't have to slow down from 85%. But he said he got something to prove this year. I mean, the only thing he has to prove is that he can stay healthy. I'm willing to. So here's the thing, and this is going to be a very weighted situation for me. I'm willing to give this dude a mulligan from year number one because here's the thing. Terrion Arnold and DJ Reed are your starters on the outside. If you want to put him in the slot, Amik Robertson is your starter in the slot. I look at Ennis Rakestraw as a depth piece. Now, here's where the weight gets a little bit wonky. If we need Ennis Rakestraw to come in later in the year and hold down the fort, and he looks like a rookie because he missed last season due to injury, then I'm going to have a problem. Right? Because then it's going to be like history repeating itself. Another injury prone player that we took a chance on. And then we needed this guy in a spot. And because he didn't have the experience, he got toasted. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm here to tell you right now. We don't care. We don't care. No. Hashtag, if you know, use the hashtag. I'm going to tell you something right now. Ennis Rakestraw Jr. is better than one Jeffrey Namumbo Kuda. I'm just gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna go out on a limb. That's my hot take. Right now, currently, after having missed most of his rookie season because he was injured here and there, nicked, and wasn't able to get in the game, he's still better. He's a better prospect than Jeffrey Namumbo Kuda. Somehow, I'm like tactical sport with Broderick Martin. Somehow I'm going to find a way to work that man's name into any cornerback conversation or discussion that we have on the podcast. I'm just saying. Dan Campbell also said they will play the best players. If he's the best player, then he's going to play. 100%. I don't believe that Ennis Rakestraw right now is better than any of the corners that are ahead of him in the slot and on the outside, because I haven't seen anything to say that he's better than them. He's got to prove he can play in the NFL. Yes, he does have to prove that he can play in the NFL. I think he can. Here's the thing. With Brad Holmes, he's got cachet with the Detroit Lions fans. He's got cachet regardless of, because I talk about the edge rusher position a lot because he has too much faith in Marcus Davenport. I think that if Brad Holmes drafts you in the second round, we got Brian Branch, we got Sam Laporta. Like we've got enough evidence to say that Brad Holmes can draft outside of he can draft within the first round, the second round, all the way to the seventh. We've got enough. So if Brad Holmes drafts you in round number 2, I believe that with the cachet that he has, you can automatically play in the NFL. I'm just going to say that. All right. Now, you have the opportunity to prove otherwise. I would submit that if you get drafted by draft Holmes, as I like to call him, in the second round, the onus is on you to prove that you can't play. You understand what I'm saying? Because, like, for draft Holmes to draft you in the second round, we expect that you are going to be good. Brian Branch is a borderline all-pro safety. And he should have been in the all-pro, like the season that he had. Okay? Sam Laporta is an all-pro tight end. He was an all-pro tight end in his rookie season. Second team all-pro. Okay? So I'm just saying. Lisa says, I'm sorry, Don. A second round pick for depth is wasted pick. The Lions needed edge starters. I'm not gonna disagree with you. I'm not gonna disagree that the Lions needed edge starters last season, but we also not last season, sorry, the season before last when we drafted him. But we remember our cornerback room was terrible. Cam Sutton, Jerry Jacobs, Kendall Vildor, Khalil Dorsey. I wasn't mad at the revamping of the cornerback room. I'd never believed in Marcus Davenport's health, and I'm going to say that all the time because I'm on record as saying that. Even though a lot of my comments have been scrubbed from the internet, and if you don't know how they got scrubbed, I'm sure someone will fill you in. Okay, a lot of my comments from last offseason, a lot of my takes have been scrubbed unceremoniously from the internet. Okay, replaced with some guys talking football. Are they really talking? Is anybody listening? I don't know. Okay. One day there's going to be if anyone out there has a connection with any like Justin Spiro type people, right? And that person wants to get me on, I'm spilling all the beans. I don't care. Okay. No punches being pulled. I'm spilling all of the beans. So if you got that connection, I will. Do you guys know Jeff Iafrady? Right? Jeff Iafrady went on Justin Spiro and he spilled all the beans about what happened with him and Woodward and all this other stuff. I'm doing the same thing. Anybody, just reach out to me. I'll jump at the chance. You ain't got to pay me because they didn't either. But you I'm saying too much. I gotta save it for the expose. But again, never was a fan of Marcus Davenport and his health. Wasn't excited that when we signed him the first time. But also I really understood the revamping of the cornerback room, the revamping of the secondary, because it was awful. It was trash. We always need someone on the other side of Hutch. I'm never gonna back down from that until we get someone. Now, apparently, Marcus Davenport is taking care of his body, and as I said before, why did it take 7 years to do it? But we'll see what happens. I'd love to be proven wrong. So, Marcus, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, we're gonna pop some bottles if you prove you can stay healthy. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Mr. Lupe Lion 17 says Ennis is going to have a rookie season. Expectation need to be low. I think we will see the free agents that get more, but at least he won't be thrown into the fire like Arnold did. Yeah, I think you are correct. He can't be thrown into the fire. The only way that he gets thrown into the fire, and we hope this doesn't happen, is if there is a major injury at the position at the beginning of the season or at a crucial point in the season. And I hope that doesn't happen. I hope we don't have any more broken jaws or anything of that nature from the corners. I hope the edge rushers make it through unscathed. I hope the defensive line makes it through unscathed. I hope everyone on the defense is healthy and everyone on the offense is healthy. Okay. But we never know where the injury bug is going to bite. And we never know what position is going to get hit. One year it's the linebackers. The next year it's the secondary. The next year it's the defensive line. It's so on and so forth. So we never know. But I do believe that is the only way that he can be thrown into the fire. So I hope that it doesn't happen. Davenport is the best injured player. You are correct, sir. You are correct. What up, though, Motown Mitch? Lisa says, I hope Ahmed Hassanin can help. Ahmed Hassanin Mahdi, are you still here? Hassanin Mahdi. As I said, his father was here. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but again, we just gotta let him develop. We gotta let him be who he's gonna be. Last year was the entire defense. Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't good at all. It wasn't good at all. So let's see. I got something here. We got some high praise from Kirby Joseph. Okay. And this is why I asked if Lions fans are overlooking Ennis Rakestraw. So this was from Athlon Sports by Nick Mayer. It says Detroit Lions NFL first team All-Pro safety Kirby Joseph is known as one of the most instinctive and gifted secondary players in the league. A ball-hawking safety who knows how to play within the confines of a defense and freelance when needed. On Thursday, Joseph took to his social media account to share candid thoughts on a player he believes could make a big splash in 2025-2026 after he was selected in the second round of the 2024 NFL Draft. Joseph's post got 35,000 page views as fans attempted to converse with the Lions star over his latest hot take. I know a guy who attempted to shame Kirby Joseph into replying to him. You guys can go look on Kirby Joseph's timeline if you want and his replies. But I know a guy. I used to know a guy. So the post says year 2 Ennis Rakestraw is gonna go crazy. The Detroit Times wrote on Thursday, which prompted an enthusiastic response from Joseph, facts, bro, in that 9 MF. Okay, and we know what MF means. I ain't gonna say it. Joseph said, referring to the former Missouri Tigers star new uniform number. He's gonna be a demon, the Times wrote back with a 100 emoji. The best secondary in the NFL, another page wrote with a cartoon of 3 Lions players. And somehow it was Kirby Joseph, Ennis Rakestraw, and Brian Branch. I guess he just wanted to get some clout. Okay, so it was a bunch of that. So yo, bro, stretch those damn hammies. We needed him last year. Another fan added about Rakestraw because it's a picture of Ennis Rakestraw stretching at the Lions facility. All right, so a 5'11", 188-pound cornerback, Rakestraw. Rakestraw played in 8 games for Coach Dan Campbell's team, compiling 4 tackles. He is known for his pestering physical coverage style, length, and athleticism, and could provide a solid to good or better option alongside Robertson, Joseph, Brian Branch, and other top defenders in the Lions' backfield this season. So that's very telling. If you're saying that he can provide a solid to good or better option alongside Robertson, Joseph, Brian Branch, and other top defenders in the Lions' backfield this season, do you believe Athlon Sports that he is going to supplant anyone? Okay. Right now, my opinion is that he is not going to be supplanting anyone. What up, though? Speak Easy Sports, my man Easy. Do you think, and I have a question for you, do you think that Ennis the Menace supplants one Terrion Arnold, one DJ Reed, one Amik Robertson? Do you think he supplants anyone this season? Because I think that would be a difficult task, especially a guy who, yes, it says he played in 8 games. Most of that was special teams, right? Most of that was special teams. So he played in about half of the games. He missed about half of the games due to being injured or being a healthy scratch. Lisa says, I have to see it, not believing it until I see it. Exactly. Just like Davenport staying healthy for a full season. Because I've never seen it before. I've never seen it. All right. Okay. So Hassanin Mahdi says, I just want to say Ahmed Hassanin is eating the playbook. Ahmed is like a sponge, smart, athletic, hungry for success. He needs more technique and training. And with such a team of coaches, I think he's saying that he will get the training and the technique that he needs. Motown Mitch says the blowouts he came into as well. Right. By that time, only true Lions fans were watching. I remember watching him get burnt last year. Said, I'm still here until you finish your broadcast because I enjoy it very much. Thank you for your hard work. I appreciate you as well, Hassanin Mahdi. As I said, guys, this is Ahmed Hassanin's father. If you guys have any questions about anything related to Ahmed, go ahead and fire away. Taylor May says, squad went 15-2. You've got to work your way onto the field for snaps. So this, again, is in line with what I'm saying, right? You've got to work your way onto field for snaps. You've got to show undoubtedly and undeniably that you are better than a second year Super Saiyan loading season from Terrion Arnold, right? Game slowing down, big play slay type of season from Terrion Arnold, which is loading. You've got to prove that beyond the shadow of a doubt, you are better than a veteran who's been in this league for 7-8 years now. And DJ Reed, who just got a $16 million per year contract, $48 million for 3 years. You've got to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are better than him. If you're talking about the slot, you've got to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that you're better than one of the best nickel corners in the league last season. In Amik the Dog Robertson, who came from the dirt, and you can't bury what already came from the dirt. So he's got an uphill battle. He's got an uphill battle to get on the field for playing time that's meaningful. Okay, not as a backup, not as a reserve, not just as a breather, but meaningful playing time. Time in which the team counts on you and your play to get it done. And can he do that? I don't know. So we got Easy. He said, if it's going to happen, you heard my solution. Terrion or DJ got to move inside, but we'll see come camp. Okay. The only one I could see moving inside would be DJ because he's shorter. But I mean, he came in here to be an outside corner. He is very good at being an outside corner. Did Terrion play any slot in college? He probably did because he was at Alabama. He's probably getting cross-trained. So again, we will see come camp. That is correct. If somebody's moving inside, I mean, you would think it would be DJ, just the body type for him to play in the slot. Terrion is a bigger body, so he might not get washed out in the run. It's tough. I don't know. Ooh, hold on. I don't know what's going on. Just got something in my throat. Pause. What up, those salty pork chops? Okay, yes. So he did play the star position. Motown Mitch says Ennis played in the slot in college. They want him to play on the outside, though. That's why we're saying that if it happens, somebody has to move inside. Amik was better on the outside last year than inside, and Terrion's best play at Alabama was in the slot. So maybe Terrion does move on the inside. We'll see. What up, the Tactical Sport? TA might be the new Iffy. Again, so now that you say that, right? And with Easy's comment about the star position, which is a hybrid nickel safety, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, Mr. Morrell. I don't hate it at all. It says, I like Amik, but he's not resigning after the season. Going to command too much money. That is all. That could be true as well. Huh. And this is the kind of dilemma that we like, right? This is the kind of dilemma that we like. This is why we're asking Brad Holmes to do similar things on the defensive line, at the edge position, because we're sitting up here trying to figure out what is the way that we could get everybody on the field. If Ennis does show out in camp and he does prove that. Okay, so here's how I can see it going. Okay. Based off Easy's answer, based off of Mr. Morale's not theory, based off of his assertion, right? Ennis balls out in camp. Okay. Ennis balls out in camp. And while he may not be as good as Terrion, he's too good to keep off the field. So you move Terrion inside, you move him to that star position. He's the new Iffy. You also have Brian Branch, who moves all over the field. Do they run games with Terrion and Brian Branch? In this situation, our base set would have to be kind of the nickel because you don't want Terrion off the field either. And while the best players are going to play, if they're going to do this, then you have to ensure that Terrion is on the field all the time. Now, here's the thing. Here's where it gets tricky, right? I believe, this is my personal opinion, just understanding that Coach Shep is a former linebacker. I believe that Aaron Glenn was very man heavy. One, because Dan Campbell agreed with it and wanted it. And two, because he's a former corner. And if anybody can teach you how to be a man cover corner or how to or can put you in the best positions to succeed, it would be a corner of Aaron Glenn's stature. I believe that Coach Shep, one of the ways that he's going to put his stamp on this defense is to feature more linebacker play. But if you were to move Terrion inside and move Ennis to the outside where Terrion was, you would feature less linebacker play. Unless what you do, okay, I got it. I figured it out. Thank you. You keep Terrion on the outside, but in nickel situations, you move Terrion inside and you put Ennis outside. But as Lisa pointed out, Amik Robertson was a better outside corner last season than he was a nickel corner. So if you want to do this, is Ennis Rakestraw a better outside corner than Amik Robertson as an outside corner? Hassan Mehdi says, I watch your show every day because you're a professional man and you say the truth. Please tell me your name. I insist. Right. Don. All right. Let's see. Motown says, I never seen TA take a snap in the slot. He started out at safety, but can't remember him ever lining up in the slot. So we're talking about when he was at Alabama, he played the star position, right? Which was the hybrid nickel safety. So I believe he was at Alabama for 3 years? So if you played that role, he played that role and then he got drafted in the first round. So I think he would have the ability to move inside. That's why we're talking this. So TA won't move inside. You don't see that happening. If he played nickel, it was not much. So you think we will run a traditional 4-3 with nickel in nickel situations? See, this is the thing, right? If Ennis is this good, right? If this is not just Kirby talking, because Dan is high on him as well. we're going to have to figure out how to get these people on the field. And that's Coach Shep's job, right? Um, because we're not going to run a 3-4. Let's start this from the line. If you ran a 3-4, you have Aiden Hutchinson, DJ Reader, and Marcus Davenport on the other end. For the linebacker situation, you would have Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell, and you would probably see it's too much to change, right? So you would probably drop Brian Branch down again as a whatever you want to call it, a joker, a rover, a star, whatever you want to call that position, the iffy position. Okay. Different teams call it different stuff. So this is that all around jack of all trades, hybrid linebacker safety. Okay. So that still doesn't solve your issue. What are y'all's suggestions? Right? Let's do this exercise because I'm trying to figure this out myself. So let's do this exercise. What do you guys suggest? If we've got to get the hypothetical situation is that we've got to get Ennis Rakestraw on the field along with Terrion Arnold. Because there's no way. Here's what I'm looking at. Moving Terrion Arnold inside could happen, but I think all of last year he was preparing with as much man coverage that he played and actually did quite well at man coverage. I think what did we get to tactical? Was it like 4.8% or 4.6% of the time that he was lined up in man coverage, there was a reception on him? So if we're saying that we look at that 4.8 or 4.6, whatever the actual the number was, you want that on the outside. Right? So this would be a tough move. No, let me see. No, Amik is better outside corner than Ennis by far. And that's my point. So we started out by saying who would he supplant? If Ennis is that good, we may need to stay with the 4-2-5. Probably. That's probably the only way. I believe Ennis is the odd man out in this case, most likely, but we'll see packages where he is in due to matchups. So, and that's what I want to understand. What packages do you think that we will see? So, and that's with Coach Shep. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm not looking at the 4-2-5 because I feel like Coach Shep is going to want to have his linebackers out there because I think he's going to have some different wrinkles. But also, we know Coach Shep is going to have the best players on the field. Just like Dan has said, well, we saw Coach Shep play Rodrigo as a rookie because he gave him no choice. And the other players gave him no choice too because they were bad. So I don't know. It's a tough one. BB is not going back to the nickel because who will play safety? See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. In a situation where you've got to have Ennis on the field, that's what we're trying to figure out. It's hypothetical time. We got time to talk about it. It is so Lisa is staunch on this one. She's not even gonna play the game. She said Ennis gets on the field if someone gets hurt and only if someone gets hurt. That's not the rules, Lisa. We got the hype. It's hypothetical time. Robertson will be the odd man out in the long run. So if he is taking snaps from anyone, it will be Robertson. Do you think they're doing that though? Do you think they're going, well, we're not going to resign you anyway? Even though you give us the best chance to win when you're on the field, we'll give your snaps to someone else? I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. Does a Super Bowl contender do that? Read inside and it's out in nickel. Okay. Yeah, there's multiple nickel formations. Go play Madden, you'll see all of them. 4-6 bear formation, less CBs, more LBs. Well, that doesn't solve the problem now, does it? That is hypothetical. No, I think that's the reality. That is what I believe is the reality. I don't believe that he gets on the field for significant time. And I started out with that in the beginning. I said, I don't think he gets, because someone said about him being thrown into the fire. And I said, I don't think he gets thrown into the fire like Terrion did unless it is a significant injury at the position from the beginning of the season or somewhere at an important time in the season, right? I don't believe that Ennis Rakestraw, myself, supplants anyone. So what you're saying agrees with what I believe, that if he is going to get on the field for any meaningful amount of time, that means that someone got injured. But in the hypothetical situation where we don't have that as our baseline, what we have is hypothetically, Ennis needs to be on the field. We need to fit him on the field with the other people. Okay? How do we do that? What packages do we use? Do we run a 4-3 base? Are we doing something else? Are we going to be in a base nickel formation? Like, how do we do that? Not all the time, unless he earns it on the field. Yeah, so it's a tricky exercise. It's a tricky exercise. How do we get Ennis on the field if he must be on the field? Yeah, gonna run a quarters formation, abandon the run stopping, and just focus on the pass. Well, you're gonna have to compromise something if you're just gonna try to play a bunch of DBs. You know, so here's the thing, right? And watch how I do this. If you got yourself an edge rusher that you can count on, okay, and we're not talking about Marcus Davenport, but let's say, okay, since we're doing hypotheticals today, let's say you can count on Marcus Davenport to be healthy for the entire season. Guess what? We could play quarters for the entire second half because we'll be up so much because our defense will stop everyone, right? And our offense will put up 35 points in the first half. So they'll be down 35-0. So we'll come out in the second half and we'll just run quarters. So Ennis can play the entire second half because all they're going to be doing is throwing the football. Right? Hypotheticals. I think if he gets on the field, it will be a 4-2-5. That's the only way that I can see it. But that's the thing. I don't know if Shep is going to want to play a 4-2-5. I mean, they love everybody. I mean, Shep loves everybody in the linebacker room. He loves Anzo. He loves Derek Barnes. He loves Jack Campbell. You know what? I think the way that this would be resolved is that we see a 4-2-5 sometimes. It's not going to be our base formation, but let's say out of 100%, 30% of the time we see 4-2-5. That way, Shep will have his guys on the field that he likes for 70% of the time, and the other 30%, then we'll see Ennis. I think that's fair. They move BB to LB, Terry on the safety, and Meek in the slot, and Ennis on the outside with DJ Reed. Hey, that could work. I'd love to have Brian Branch as a linebacker. Do y'all remember? I don't know what year they stopped it. I don't play Madden anymore because it's the same game over. It's just a roster update. They say that they add stuff to it, but you know, like adding passing where you have to like use 5 of your fingers to make an accurate pass doesn't make any sense. Do y'all remember though when you could change players' positions? Bro, I had so many franchise teams that I built with hybrid safety linebackers. It's like I would just draft this up like or sign big safeties like Cam Chancellor and just make them linebackers. My pass coverage was crazy. You weren't passing on me at all. Ennis, Arnold, most outside receivers. Reed, Mirrors, best wide receiver wherever. I don't know what to make of that one. He said, I haven't played Madden in decades. It's been out for what, 2.5 decades, a little bit more. So you know, hold on, wait. No, actually, no. I forgot they changed the name, the way that they named it. It did come out in what, 80? Did it come out in 90? I feel like 89. I feel like it's 89. Wow. Hold on. No, okay. So they approached him in 84. And because of his insistence that the game be as realistic as possible, the first version of John Madden Football did not appear until 1988. So I was 1 year off. It was 88, not 89. Um. So yeah, you decades is crazy. Were you just not a big Madden fan? I mean, people still remember 2K football. What was it, 2K5? I think that's when it came out on the Dreamcast. Shout out Sega. 2K, they did get back into NFL football, I think, but it was like a card game or something. It just wasn't. Unfortunately, Madden, EA, they have their exclusive rights contract with the NFL, and it sucks. Yeah, it just became a roster update. Yeah, I haven't bought it in the last. What's the last one I bought? I think I had 23, but I bought it for my son. I do not play it. I'm gonna tell you why I stopped playing it. This is real talk. My son was using the Baltimore Ravens. He was down at the goal line. I'm using the Lions. He threw a pass to Odell Beckham while Odell Beckham was engaged in a block. He somehow continued to block while catching this football in the end zone. At that point, I was finished. At that point, I was done. Because what was happening is the game knew who was better. And in order to keep it competitive, the game started cheating for the other team. So I was like, you know what? I'm finished. I'm done with it. I can't do this anymore. So I haven't played Madden since. Madden made PS. You bought it to play Madden. So, yeah, that 88, 89 one that I was talking about, I played that one. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't need to buy a system for a game. I'm one of the OGs. Nah, I did get the CFB, but it turned out to be the college edition of Madden. So the CFB one is in the house. I never played it. Um, yeah, it's in the house. I never played it. because someone else bought it, and they were being a gatekeeper. So I was just like, you know what, whatever, bro. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but yeah, someone else bought it and they were being a gatekeeper. So I just lost interest because if I when I buy games in the house, I make them available for everyone to play, and I would expect that to be the same for everyone else in the house who's able to buy games and like we want to play it, but they didn't. So I just said, okay, whatever. It is what it is. I think I probably would have played one season of. Don't they talk right? Don't they? Aren't you able to like take your creative player and take him? Yeah, now you can. So now that's what they're doing this year. I don't know if they did that last year, but now what's happening is you get the CFB one, you go through whatever they call it, the road to glory. I don't know what they call it, right? You get it, and then you go through the high school and college, right? And then you go into Madden. It's like the road to the Hall of Fame or something like that. I'm pretty sure y'all saw the trailer where the dude, I think he got drafted by the Commanders or something like this, and then he's going through, and then he's an old dude or whatever, and he's retired. He's in the Hall of Fame. Pretty dope commercial. So if you were buying it for that purpose, I just don't have time for it anymore. I used to be really, really like, moving teams and making uniforms, and then they took the fun out of that, where you couldn't really make uniforms anymore. You just had to select from what they had available. It was just they took a lot of the outside stuff, the franchise stuff. Like one of the coolest thing about having your own franchise is designing uniforms. And now you're giving me these cookie cutter things is whatever. And I think the only way that you could have kind of alternate type of uniforms was to play MUT, and then you're playing like, what is it, the 3-on-3 mode or whatever the hell that is. I don't know. But that's when you used to see like the camouflage jerseys and the crazy visors and the crazy gloves and all that stuff. So I don't know. I never really got into Madden Ultimate Team. So, but then even with that, you gotta like unlock the jerseys and all that other stuff, right? You can't make them. So I don't know. They let me down. I think I think they need to hand it over to 2K, and I think 2K will do a better job than EA. But I think, what is it? Is it exclusive rights into 2028 or something like that? So we would have to we would have to wait and see for like 3 more years to see if they're going to come out with another one. Um, but anyway, appreciate everyone for stopping through. Um, I got something that I got to work on. I got to get it fixed, because if I don't get it fixed very soon, I'm going to miss an opportunity. So, once again, I appreciate everyone for coming through, hanging out, stopping by for a drinking conversation. Skip. Um, Tactical Sports is not sure of the year. Yeah. But if you have not subscribed to the Motor City Cats, please do so. I will do what I've done before, and I will throw the link in here so that you can You can subscribe and you don't have to like do anything other than just hit the link. Yeah, I try to make it easy. All right. This isn't the channel link. This is the let's pull up the channel link. Why not? It makes it easier once again. All right. Put the channel link in there. And y'all can go ahead and go subscribe if you are not. Appreciate you, Lisa. Once again, the Motor City Cats are back at it. We came to give you stats and not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your lines news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace.